that in most of the situation, whatever price which is decided by the market forces of demand and supply has to be accepted by the different economic agents. But in situations where such price is leading to exploitation or injustice of any class of the society, the government intervenes the markets and sets a new price. And the two ways in which this can be done is by fixing the maximum limit or making provision for the minimum price. Today I'm discussing the minimum price fixation. In this case also we have two applications where the government is fixing the minimum remuneration of the price that is to be paid to the workers or to the farmers. So the government enacts legislation making provision that prices of certain commodities and services should not fall below the minimum price that is known as price floor. It is going to be illegal in case any transaction is undertaken below this price floor. The situation of minimum price legislation has been illustrated in figure 6.5. In this figure, we find that demand and supply curves for the commodity on which there is provision for minimum price floor has been shown. The two curves are intersecting each other at point E. So E is the equilibrium point. The corresponding equilibrium price is OP and the equilibrium quantity is OQ. When the government makes provision for minimum price floor, it has to be above the equilibrium price, because any price floor fixed below the equilibrium price is going to be meaningless, irrelevant, and not binding, because already the price decided by the market forces is more than that price. In this case, the government is fixing the price floor at the level OPF corresponding to this minimum price floor. Demand in the market is given by OQ2 or PFA, whereas the supply at this price is OQ1 or PFB. We find that there will be a surplus in the market because the government has fixed the price above the equilibrium. And because of this surplus, many economic agents, say workers, will be prepared to pay lesser price for the product. A shortage of purchaser on account of this surplus will lead to a competition to dispose of the commodity. So the sellers will find many ways and means to undercut the minimum price. Some may be in a position to find loopholes in the law, and the others may go against the provisions of the Act. So let us first discuss the application price support policy. Agriculture may be the unlucky stepchild of the nature, but it is often the favored or favorite child of the government. And the reason is the production in the agriculture sector depends upon the vagaries of nature, particularly in our economy. More than 60% of the production depends upon rains, which are uncertain, irregular, and inadequate. It means when we require rains for the crops in the agriculture sector, there may not be rains at all. On the other hand, when we do not require rain, there may be heavy rains. In both the situation, the production in the agriculture sector is going to be adversely affected. And particularly since agriculture products have inelastic demand as well as supply, unless support is given by the government for the agriculture sector, the interests of the farmers are going to be adversely affected. We often find that the prices of agriculture products are generally far less in comparison to the prices of the manufactured product. And moreover, there are fluctuations in the prices and hence income of the farmers on account of unplanned variations in the output. The farmers must be motivated to continue the production process of food crops because very little by rise in the income of the consumers or due to fall in the price of the agriculture products. This is the reason why the government formulates price support policy in several countries of the world. When there are good monsoon and favorable weather conditions, and the farmers put their best efforts to increase the production on account of bumper crop, the agriculture product price fall substantially. But since the demand for the agriculture product is relatively price and income elastic, agriculture products belong to a group where there will not be much change in the demand. So on account of excess production in the agriculture sector, the farmers' interest will be adversely affected. They will be getting less price for the agriculture produce with no rise in the total revenue. We have already started in the chapter on elasticity of demand. When elasticity of demand is low, then with fall in the price, there is fall in the total revenue. So since agriculture products have inelastic demand, there is fall in the total income of the farmers when there is too much production. In order to protect the interest of the farmers, many countries use price floor to protect the interest of these farmers. Even US government adopted this measure during 1930s when major part of the world was passing through the recession. Even during period of 1950s and 60s, the parity was established through the price support for farm products by the government. Now, in order to stabilize the prices at the equilibrium level, the government purchases in the market and adds to the stock when there is a surplus of agriculture production. Similarly, it sells in the market and reduces the stock when there is a shortage, because it is quite possible that if suppose in this year there is excess production because of favorable monsoon conditions and the best effort by the farmers, there may be shortage of the agriculture production maybe in the next year or next to next year because of unfavorable monsoon and weather conditions. So when the government uses these operations of purchases and sales, we call it buffer stock operations, because buffer is maintained in the warehouses by the government to stabilize the prices of agriculture produce. So this is how the government can avoid the situation of unstable income with the farmers. It should also be understood that suppose in a particular year there is too less production of the agriculture produce, then without government intervention, the interest of the farmer will not be much adversely affected. The reason is, in any case, the consumer will have to purchase the agriculture produce at whatsoever price may be. So, when there is less production because of unfavorable weather conditions, the interest of the consumers will be adversely affected. So, in this situation, the government releases the stock from the warehouses and it is in a position to protect the interests of the consumers also. So the buffer stock operations of the government help in stabilizing the incomes of both farmers and consumers by stabilizing the prices of agriculture produce in different periods. Now let us discuss second application. This is minimum wage legislation. Well, student, you must have heard about Minimum Wage Act. This is enacted by the government to protect the interests of the workers who have weak bargaining power. So unless there is a strong trade union, it is not possible for the workers to protect their interest. This application has been depicted in figure 6.6, the minimum wage rate policy, where the demand and supply curves of worker is given by DD and SS curves respectively. These two curves intersect each other at point E. So the equilibrium wage rate will be E to L, that is EL. And the equilibrium amount of workers who will be working, that is the employment of the worker, will be given by OL. Now, since this wage rate may be insufficient to protect the interest of the workers, the government fixes the price floor at level OW1, which is greater than the equilibrium wage rate of OW. In this situation, there will be surplus of labor by amount equal to AB. So we can say, because of this government policy, the workers remain unemployed, which is equal to LL1 as per figure 6.6. So in comparison to the equilibrium situation, which was giving jobs to OL number of workers, when minimum wage floor is implemented, only OW1 wage rate will giving jobs to OL1 number of workers. So LL1 workers will remain unemployed, and these unemployed workers will be prepared to accept wage rate which is even below the equilibrium wage rate. So when free market wage rate is considered to be too low, the government fixes the minimum wage rate at higher level. So employers will reduce the demand for labor to OL1, while the labor force will increase their supply to OL2. So the total surplus of labor will be equal to L1, L2, which is also equal to AB as shown in figure 6.6. So workers who get jobs, they will gain because they will be getting higher wage rate OW1 in comparison to the previous wage rate of OW. But the workers who remain unemployed, that is LL1, they will be losing because of this government intervention. So we can say working class as a whole may gain or lose due to the minimum wage condition. This depends upon the elasticity of demand for the labor. If the labor demand curve is elastic, the total wage bill will become lesser than OW1 AL1. So it is clear that after minimum wage floor is implemented by the government, the total wage bill will be given by new wage rate multiplied by the new number of workers employed. So new wage rate is OW1, new number of workers employed will be OL1, and so the total wage will be OW1 AL1. Well, students, you remember, in the case of agriculture sector, we all know that elasticity of demand is less than 1. So because of decrease in the price, there is decrease in the total revenue. And with increase in the price, there will be increase in the total revenue. But in this case, when the wage rate is increased from OW to OW1, whether the wage rate will rise, leading to increase in the total wage bill, it all depends upon the elasticity of demand for the workers. Please remember that for agriculture sector, elasticity of demand is invariably less than 1. But for workers, it may be less than 1 or it may be more than 1. So whenever elasticity of demand is less than 1, the workers' interest will be adversely affected unless there is protection given by the government. So in conclusion, we can say minimum wage had impact on different types of labors. There are certain workers who have acquired high skills and experience, and they are not affected much by the variations in the equilibrium wage rate. But those workers who are highly unskilled or less skilled or less experienced, they will be receiving low wages. It is because of this minimum wage rate act that there has been exploitation of workers, because unemployed workers are prepared to accept the wage rate which is even lesser than the equilibrium wage rate. You must have seen that in the fireworks factories, there is employment of child labor. And these child labor are forced to work at a very, very low wage rate. So this is the result of the Minimum Wage Act, which is beneficial only to a particular segment of the workers. But the remaining workers who are not able to find the job, they are forced to work at a very low wage rate, which is much less than the equilibrium wage rate.